What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video is all about Springbok Rugby, and the latest news that's just come out is that South African Rugby has opened the door to allow overseas players back in to the Springbok squad. Now originally this rule was that if you had played less than 30 caps for the Springboks and had gone overseas to play further your career there, you can unfortunately not play for the Springboks. You need to have at least 30 or more caps in order to earn that opportunity to play Springbok Rugby. Now this has caused chaos with amongst fans all over South Africa, because some agree with this, some disagree with this, and I think with this whole procedure back now, allowing these guys back into the to play for the Springboks, it's again caused a bit of 50-50. And to be dead honest, my personal opinion, I'm also 50-50 on this. I'm happy for those players to be given the opportunity to play for their country, but I'm also concerned for the development within South African rugby from a provincial level, because doesn't this then encourage these guys that if they get an opportunity because they are doing particularly well, they're going to run away and go play a provincial level overseas and stick it out because the money is just so much better? And that is my conundrum on this. Now, why do players leave South Africa, you may ask? Well, there's obviously various reasons. It could be because of crime. But there's crime all over the world, but obviously South Africa always labelled as the crime country. There is the quota system. If you don't know what that is, it's when, unfortunately, the political figures get involved within the sporting codes and delegate or told the government, or the South African Rugby Union in this case, that you need to have a particular amount of player of colour within that squad or in the Springbok squad and all that jazz. Now this hasn't been too much an issue of late, because transformation, which is a totally different aspect of this whole talk, that has been doing very well within the various provinces, and we are developing fantastic players of colour, which is absolutely stunning for South Africa. And we are seeing it with guys like Apiwe Dianti, Nkosi, and other greats out there who are getting the opportunity to play for the provincial level as well as Springbok level, and all done the right way, and I hope that continues. But due to these instances where players obviously think that they're not going to get the opportunity, they decide to go overseas. And unfortunately this has been the situation for quite a few players who just don't see a future within the squad. For example, if I have to look at one who's really missed out on opportunity, and I don't blame quota system quite, I blame actually South African Rugby Union and Heineke Meyer and Peter de Villiers as well. Sarah Pretorius was one top South African rugby player who I believed was the best scrum half in this country, and unfortunately, because he was never selected, he decided to further his career overseas. Now that's a totally different aspect, and I don't have too much of an issue with that. If players aren't getting selected or feel that they're getting to an age where they don't see a career, unfortunately, at an international level, then by all means go overseas. But when you're a youngster and you're growing and you've had a dream to play, obviously first team for your school, then club or provincial if you're lucky enough to go straight from school to provincial, and then the ultimate prize is obviously playing for your country. Now that to me is the ultimate dream package. I would, if I could play the sport, unfortunately because of my dwarfism disability I couldn't, but if I had my dream, I would want to play for my school, which I managed to do, not rugby but cricket on that aspect, and that was my dream. And then if I could, provincial level, and then for the Springboks. But now unfortunately, because of all the various provincial levels who are privately owned or whatever it may be, these guys overseas have the big bucks, and they offer these great rugby players the opportunity to play for their province, and these players jump on the bandwagon and go there because of an opportunity to, one, enhance their career, and two, earn a damn good salary. So this is a bit of a sad thing, because I'm changing sport now, but today South African cricket announced that Dwayne Olivier, who's such a talented fast bowler, would have been a future Dale Steyn, I think, has decided to sign a Colpack deal in the UK, and therefore meaning he will not be able to play Protea cricket. Now I'm disappointed in this player because for me he had the potential to do wonders. Dale Steyn is getting to an age where he's going to retire one day, and this guy has the opportunity to take over the reins with Kagiso Rabada, Andile Petlagwayo and Indini and all these great guys. But now he's decided to go overseas. Now you can't tell me, he's been playing Protea cricket. He's had no opportunity or threats of being kicked out as far as I know. He's going solely because of money, and that for me pisses me off, excuse my French, because it's just you going to play for the sport. And it goes back to my question, are you playing for pride or are you playing for money? And this is becoming the situation of sport these days. It's all about the big bucks. If you look at the Premier League, half those teams, I mean majority of every squad in the Premier League are hardly, I'd say 60-70% aren't even English. It's all foreign-based players because of the money that's been bought in. And therefore, look at why England can't win a Soccer World Cup, is because they don't have the players producing in that top level of provincial, so they aren't able to generate these greats. And I might be half off topic there, but it's these kind of things that are upsetting me when I think of the future of this deal. I want to see rugby developed properly in South Africa. I want to see the Sharks, the Bulls, the Stormers, the Lions, the Cheetahs, every team do well and are competitive like the All Blacks. Whereas if you look at the All Blacks, they enter the Super Rugby as pure dominant favourites. Why? It's because rugby is developed the right way within New Zealand, and that's why they are the best team in the world. Because if you decide to go overseas, there goes your chance. You're not an All Black. And why do you think they're the best in the world? Is because development within the system of All Black rugby is brilliant. Same thing with Ireland. The depth within Irish rugby is so good because they have the exact same rule. And I think it's important to remember that. Now, again, there's so many conundrums within South African rugby which cause this bit of chaos. So I'm happy for the sake of Kobus Reinach that he can come back, because I think that was a gem we lost. We've lost other players like the Colbys, the Faf de Klerks. Yes, they played last year, but now they have that full opportunity of playing without the worry of doing this. But if I look at the Sharks now, within this week and a bit of this announcement, the Sharks have already lost Akafana Merwe, who for me is one of the top props in South Africa. He's going to Sale Sharks. We've lost Robert de Pree, who for me has a potential. One game that against Wales, which was last year in the States, was appalling, but now he's going overseas. So he's just joined the Sharks and now already he's gone. So it's these things that are upsetting me, because great players within the various provinces are going to run away because of the opportunity of a better life, because of money or safety, whatever it may be. But for me, it's money. They're going to go overseas and play, and it breaks me down, because I want to see development within South Africa. I want to see development within provincial level, so we could be like the All Blacks. Again, I might be wrong and I might be over-exaggerating, and I know a lot of people will disagree with me on this, but I want to see development in South Africa, and I want to see a competitive style of rugby played here. If we lose players to overseas, they're going to be eligible to play for England, which we've already seen. I mean, Italy's got a South African, France is a South African, England had a South African, Ireland had a South African. We're losing these players because of things like this that are happening, and it's sad. Now I know CJ Stander left because of a stupid coach who said he was too damn small, and that coach, rightly so, is a twit, and that's why we lost him. But we need to develop the sport here and get the system and the coaching systems in place, and Rassie's doing a great job, and he's proving and showing the improvements. So don't get me wrong, I know we're going in the right direction, but by allowing this rule, aren't we going to lose the opportunity to develop rugby within the provinces? Maybe because players get to go overseas, we're allowed to increase the chance of more rugby players coming to or being brought up through South Africa. But then, let's say we have a Sharks team that are playing absolutely outstanding rugby, and I can pick 5 Springbok players from that. But because these guys who have a bigger name overseas, they come back to South Africa and automatically these guys get shifted. I don't want to see that. If South Africa's got the talent here, pick them and then focus on the overseas guys. But yeah, it's a whole conundrum, and I'm 50-50 on it. I'm stoked for the guys who have had missed opportunities playing in the provincial or playing for the Springboks. I'm so happy they're going to come back. But I hope that this doesn't cause a situation where we're losing so many great players to overseas-based clubs because of money. It will break me down if that's the case. I want to see development, and I know I've repeated myself 50 times, but it's something I'm passionate about. I want to see rugby growing in South Africa, in the communities, in the provincials, in the schools, in the clubs, so that we can be like the All Blacks, like Ireland and every other nation that has this ruling in place. Now I know New Zealand aren't going to lift this rule. They're going to stick it. I know also Ireland are going to keep it. Australia have announced that they're not going to follow South Africa's way, and good for them, because it's developing the sport within their country. So, comment section are open and free for everyone to let their opinion know. Be respectful, please. Don't swear each other and all that stuff, because it gives this video a bad rating when people are fighting, and a lot of people are. I mean, Sambuzak always seems to get attacked. I know he also does attack others, but come on, guys, this is a positive community page, and let's be respectful to one another. Whether you agree or disagree, rather, instead of swearing another person, don't respond. Because it just creates a bad vibe within the video and within the community and the guidelines I stick by, which is respect and all that stuff that we should be doing. But anyway, I've had my vent and I've had my opinion on this. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you agree or disagree with this thing? Like I said, I'm 50-50, but I'm open to hearing suggestions from you guys on this particular topic. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe if you are new, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on a future upload. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.